going on, everyone? Back to another video, the second video on my channel. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Today, we're going to be doing a prediction video on Fight Night Bautista versus Oliveira. There are, I would say, pretty decent fights on here. There's one fight that we'll get to that I'm actually really excited for. I'm guessing it's the fight of the night. But let's just get right into it. Before I do, I will say I am greatly sorry for anyone's name I fuck up. I am not the best with name pronunciation, so it's gonna be brutal. People are gonna cringe at it. Just, just stay with me, okay? Just believe in me, please. Anyways, first, Claudia Saiguda versus Priscilla Cacureira. Another thing I gotta say, WMMA. I think a lot of people share the same opinion. Best. Kind of boring. So I'm just gonna give these picks. Um, yeah. There's only 3 WMMA fights on this card. Nice. And hey, they could be entertaining. I don't know. But I will say I didn't do too much research on the WMMA fights. But like, I glanced over, past opponents and everything. I will say this fight I could see being entertaining. My pick is Priscilla Cacarera, and I'm gonna choose her by TKO in the first round. He has a lot of TKOs, KO submissions, and everything. And also, my opinion, not even in my opinion, it's an obvious. Her past um comp, the people she's fought, really good. Um, Jasmine Judavicius. That's I think her third, her 3 fights back she lost to. Jasmine is good. She is a really good fighter. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with her. All right, let's get into the good. Okay, luck. Quinn Gafarov versus Jacob Wicklash. Now, I haven't looked at the odds, the betting odds for these fighters, but I'm gonna guess that Jacob Wicklash is the underdog, and I'm gonna go with the underdog. Yeah, I am gonna go with Jacob Wicklash. I will say his UFC debut against Patchy Mix, another fighter later on who fought against Patchy Mix. But his performance against Patchy Mix wasn't the best. It went to a split decision. A lot of people say it was a robbery. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I think he's a decent fighter. He has fought good, like I wouldn't say good, but decent comp. Um, outside of the UFC. Muin Gafarov. His last I will say this. His last fight, Rinya Nakamura, who is, I think, and a lot of people will agree, a good prospect. He beat him. That's a really good win. He also lost to Said Nurmagomedov, who's actually not on this card anymore. Pulled out. It's not really confirmed. I think it's like 75% confirmed who the replacement is. But I'm gonna go with Jacob Wicklash. Muin, whatever his name is. They're both grapplers. I don't see this being a KO. Muin is a really, he's just a, I don't know where he's from. Maybe probably not Russia, but he's a wrestler. Jacob Wicklash. I wouldn't say he's a wrestler. Good BJJ, and that's why I'm gonna go with Jacob because Muin, he tends to be really reckless with transitions and everything. Jacob, he's a really good guillotine. I'm not saying he's gonna get him with a guillotine. I do have him via round 1 submission, but I think the guillotine is there. Which with Patchy Mix, he jumped that a lot with when Patchy shot takedowns. And this might be a hot take. I think Patchy Mix has better ground game than Muin. That's the reason why I'm gonna go with Jacob. Bit of an underdog pick, I'm guessing. Odds, check him right now. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. Next one. Wang Kong versus God Garda Orda. Okay. I did do some research on this. Pretty good. They're both pretty good. I'd say they're both prospects. Wang Kong, he's famous with the casuals because the whole Joker thing. Uh, okay. He's entertaining. He's got really good leg kicks. I will say this. But like I also said, I didn't do too much. But I am going to go with Wang Kong via decision 29-28. I could see Mora getting a takedown in one of the rounds and just holding Wang Kong there. Maybe Wang could get back up and it could be a 30-27. Like I'm gonna go with a 29-28 Wang Kong. And I'm not going to do this one because Saeed has pulled out. Pretty sure the reason is he couldn't get his visa. Sucks because this probably was gonna be a good fight. And so it sucks that it got canceled. Yeah, I didn't do anything. Canceled. I'm 100% sure who the placement is. See, hopefully it's a good fight no matter what. And I will say, probably go with Saeed, to be honest, over Javid. I know he lost to Vinicius for this fight night. Also, he just lost to Bryce Mitchell, but he dropped Bryce. Guys, heard about this? Bruna Brazil versus Caitlin Souza. Um, Bruna Brazil via decision 29-28. Brazil has fought really good comp. Souza, not so much. I do remember she hit a nasty rear naked choke in the Noche or the Sphere card. Knocked her opponent down, wrapped up a really nice. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bruna Brazil. Yeah. Decision. All right. Now this is where things start to really begin. Nico Price, the Dodo Bird, versus Nikolai Baron Veretennikov. Yeah, there you go. Veretennikov. Um, Nico Price. He's creative. He's really creative. Past three fights, he's lost twice and won once. And his victory is against Alex Morano, who's also on this card. Is he? Yes, he is. That's a bit weird. But I'm gonna have to go with Nicolay. Right off the bat, I'll just say that. Nicolay, he's good pressure and he's decent in the clinch. And I think the clinch is gonna matter the most. Nico Price has creative striking and everything, not the best takedown defense. And I guess people say he's tough. He did decent against Jacoby Smith. I say decent because a lot of people thought Jacoby Smith absolutely ragdoll, and albeit he kind of did, but took him to the second round. So I guess that's one of the fights where people think like, oh, Nico Price, you know, lost against Jacoby Smith, but his stock gonna rise a little bit because they went to the second round instead of him just getting absolutely demolished in the first round. But I have Nicolay, sorry, of Nicolay winning via KO in the clinch, similar to the Lawler KO, Nico and Robbie Lawler, who was the retirement fight for Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler, sorry, hit him with I think it was either one or two um, uppercuts in the clinch, dirty boxing, and immediately just flatline Nico. It was a bit of a weird KO, to be honest. Like you would think that he was paid off to do it. I'm not saying that, but like it was weird. Nico's chinny. So I think that's probably what's gonna happen. I could see, you know, Nicolay shoot a takedown, shoot a takedown. Nico kind of stuff it. They're against the cage and everything, and maybe I wouldn't say spinning elbows are so common nowadays, but I wouldn't say a spinning elbow. I could see an elbow against the cage, but I also just see uppercuts hooks on the cage, and Nico just crumbling. I wouldn't say a flat line, but just crumbling. Yeah, bit of a step down. Actually, no. This is a fairly even matchup. Nicolay is only win in the UFC is Francisco Prado, who's not that good. Nico Price. This is probably his last fight in the UFC. If he loses, he gets cut. Actually, I don't think so. No, he's a vet. That's what everyone. But yeah, Nicolay via round one KO. Alex Morano versus Daniil Danchenko. Now this is really interesting. I'm really excited to see this fight. Not for Alex Morano, but for Daniil. He just won. Was it? It was the Diego Lopez versus um Don Silva Ober, maybe. But this was this opened the card, the fight night. This was the what's it called? What's the show card called? Tough. It was the tough finale. Daniil just obliterated his opponent. His name was read his name. Rodriguez something. Yeah. But he's really good. Daniil's really good in the clinch and everything. And his elbows, not even just in the clinch, his elbows are in general super good. And I think that's what's going to happen with Morano. I think Daniil is going to elbow him a bunch in the clinch or just in general because he is, step in elbows and everything. Maybe even a spinning elbow. But I think Daniil is going to drop Morano with an elbow in round one. And if it's not like a clean KO, Daniil's going to drop him, catch him, drop him, finish it off with the ground and pound. I will say, out of you know, the 1% chance Alex makes it to the second round, I think Daniil is still going to land the elbow. Let's say Alex survives. I think it's probably going to be a doctor stoppage. Yeah, he's sloppy, Toronto. He's like, he's grouped in this category with Bryce, who they're vets. Tim Means is in it. Court McGee is in it. I would even say Michael Chiesa, because Michael Chiesa. But all of those guys, that's kind of I wouldn't even say fraud checks. They're just an easy win for people who are decent. Like Carlos Leal obliterated Alex Morano, and everyone thought Carlos Leal was a really good prospect, and then he lost to Salikov. Anyways, I think this is just a really easy. Um, would you a debut first like official fight, Daniil? And to be honest, Daniil's like the tough finale. The opponent he faced, that wasn't even the hardest opponent he faced in tough. His second to last fight, Matt Dixon, that was I think he's better than the person fought for the finale. And he also obliterated them too. First round KO if I remember correctly. But yeah, Daniil, round one TKO, the elbow. To the main card. Dustin Jacoby versus Julius Walker. I like Dustin Jacoby. He's probably my favorite. Nah, not my favorite, but one of my favorite non-ranked light heavyweight. I think he's really good. I think a lot of his wins are good. He loses to, you know, um, pretty good comp, Dominic Reyes, etc. I think his win over Vitor Petrino, I think that is going to age incredibly well. I mean, his loss against Dominic Reyes, that's not even that bad. Sure, maybe at the time it looked bad because Dominic Reyes was, on what was it, a 3 or 4 fight losing streak, but it wasn't even that bad. He lost to that. That's all right. He is a vet, and he's good. I like him. got decent cardio, good power. You know, saw that with the Vitor Petrino fight. Good leg kicks, good counters too. I think that's why I'm gonna pick him over Julius Walker. Walker, he's just not impressed me. You know, the UFC debut against Alonzo Menifield. This is a fight. I will say this. This is a fight that you can't use MMA math on because Alonzo Menifield, he won against Dustin Jacoby via a UD, and with Julius Walker, Alonzo won via split decision. So if you just see that, you'd think, oh, Julius Walker did better than Dustin Jacoby. Oh, most people are probably going to be like, oh, Julius Walker is going to beat Dustin Jacoby. That's not true. The Alonzo fight with Julius Walker, that was a sloppy fight. It was terrible to watch. I didn't like it. A lot of people didn't like it. And to be honest, he got a win over I don't know, Rafael Caquera. I think that's how you pronounce it. But dude, that guy, he just got cut. That guy gets that guy loses to everyone. That is not a good win. And I think they're just pushing Julius Walker way too much. Like way too hard. This is his third fight in the UFC and they're getting Dustin Jacoby, who's a vet, and I would even say top 15 worthy. I think Dustin Jacoby after this fight, after he wins this, because that's who I'm picking, after he wins this, I think he should get a top 15 opponent. But yeah, I think Dustin Jacoby is gonna, I wouldn't say obliterate. Maybe he finds some trouble in early in the first round. But I think this doesn't go past the first round. I think Walker pressures in, maybe like rushes in and everything, and I think Jacoby just counters, easily counters him, drops him, finishes him off with ground and pound. First round. That Alonzo fight with Walker, that was not a good look. No. And he has decent pro comp outside of the UFC, but still, like this is the UFC and they're pushing him way too hard. I honestly feel bad for the guy. But yeah, I think this is just too much too soon. Dustin Jacoby, round one, TKO. The next one, Team Matsumoto versus Farid Basharat. Man, the Basharat brothers fight on the same card so often. Go to the other brothers, the one who just TKO'd Randy Brown, KO'd Randy Brown. The other one just lost via ground and pound to fuck, I forget. That's gonna annoy me. Anyways, I think I think this is a good fight. I think this could turn out to be pretty boring. I think that is risky. I don't think that's a hot take. Think I wouldn't say they're pretty even, but like yeah, you know what? I will say they're pretty even in skill. Matsumoto's only loss is to Rob Font, which is not a bad loss. Rob Font is a really good, I wouldn't say top 10, but a really good top 15 opponent. You Rob Font has a fight against Chiwiwi. Raul Ruha, fucking Raul. Fuck, you know what I'm talking about. Chiwiwi guy. He has a fight against him on Oliveira versus Holloway. Better for that. But yeah, Rob Font's good. He's fought really good people. He's lost to really only really good people. Corey Sandhagen, Figgy, uh, and maybe it's too soon to say David Martinez really good, but that was an entertaining fight. But yeah, and then Farid, I will say, his most recent fight in victory over Chris Gutierrez, that's his best win because all of his other wins, I wouldn't say are dog shit, but they're just not that good. Uh, Actually, no. What am I talking about? It's the other way. Sorry, Asherat. He has fought good comp. Matsumoto, besides Rob Font, not that good. Miles John went to a split decision against Miles John, and that's not a good look at all. It really isn't. One against Brad Katona. That's I like Brad Katona. But that is not a good victory. No. And he just didn't look that bad against Rob Font. I liked it. He has good takedown defense, good combos, good pressure and everything, and he's patient. And I think that could be his downfall for this fight. I think him being too patient what's going to lead him to lose to a decision. 29-28 Basra. I think if Basra keeps his range, uses his he has a 3-4 inch reach. Sorry, I'm a bit stupid. Um, but a reach advantage. I think if he uses jabs and everything, if Gene, if he does pressure, I think I think Basharat has better ground game. I like it. But I will say this: if Basharat throws naked kicks, Gene's probably gonna catch him, take him down. Yeah, but like I said in the beginning, I think this is gonna be a boring fight. Be like a chess match. And just because it's a chess match doesn't mean it's boring. But like I'm talking about casual boring. Hardcore fans, I think they're gonna like this fight. I'm gonna like this fight. Oh, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, Basharat 29-28 decision. Next fight. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. This is the fight I've been looking forward to the most. And I'm gonna take a guess right now. This is gonna be fight of the night. If I could give this fight a nickname, Battle of the Marauders. That's what it is. Both of these guys, top 5 Marauders of all time. I wouldn't say top 3, but they're up there. Marc-Andre Barriou, guy. Cal Olivjacek. He Mikal, he just joined the Fighting Nerds. I don't think maybe just, but he's been looking pretty good. Did beat the GOAT, BM3. Beat him easy. He wouldn't even say dog walked because there wasn't even enough time for a walk. Wasn't even enough time for a walk in the park. Marc-Andre Barriou. He the his most recent win against Bruno Silva. Dude, it's Bruno Silva. Yeah, that was a brutal KO. Silva was like out for fuck maybe 4 minutes or something. It was a brutal elbow against the cage. But yeah, I just have Macau easily. I wouldn't say easily. It's gonna be a dogfight. It's gonna be a slugfest. They're both gonna be swinging. It's just gonna be a good old bar fight. You know what I mean? And Macau, he easily KO'd Cody Brundage. Now, when I say that, take it with face value. Cody Brundage, not a good fighter. He's mid. However, he's tough. He just fought against Cam Roston. Rouston. Took him to round 2. He KO'd Cody, but took him to round 2. Macau easily KO'd him in like maybe less than a minute, if I remember correctly. Easily KO'd him. And that's good. Uh but yeah, and he also just joined the Fighting Nerds, which really helps, striking wise. I don't see either of them shooting a takedown. Maybe a takedown in desperation if one of them is wobbled. But yeah, I don't see that happening. Mark Barriou, he's a take 2 to give 1 type of guy, and I don't think that's gonna be good for this fight. I could see Macau working the body a lot. I think that's gonna be good. It's gonna be a slugfest. So mixing it up. He also has pretty good leg kicks. I would definitely double down on the leg kicks. Yeah, I don't think he has the power of Joe Pyfer. I think he has thud. I think everyone knows that. Guy's got thud. So if he just works the body, works the leg kicks and everything, I could see, and this is my prediction, EKO in round 3. But yeah, this is gonna be better than I'm guessing. All right, here we go. Alton Almeida versus Rizvan. This is, I mean, who likes Almeida? That's the biggest question, I think. Who likes him? To be honest, who likes Rizvan? Yeah, people say he got robbed against Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades lost, didn't look that good. I'm pretty sure Blades had an injury in that fight that he's. Anyways, uh, people say he should have won that fight, but this guy tested for PEDs multiple times. This guy is a cheater. Hopefully not now, but still, saying goes, once you're a cheater, always a cheater. In a few years, if it comes out he took PEDs again, who's gonna be surprised? And who likes Almeida? Thank God the judges finally woke up, realized, hey, this guy's just fucking laying there. If the same judges that judged Almeida versus Volkov were the judges for Almeida versus Derek Lewis, actually no, because Lewis just laid there. Volkov, he's good. He's a vet. He understands, and that's why he was punching and shit even on the ground. That didn't even do a lot of damage, if I remember correctly. But still, it was damage. Okay, I gotta predict this shit. I'm gonna go with Almeida via sub. I think that's gonna be prediction I'm gonna go with. I think Kuniev, he swings. He doesn't have that bad striking. His ground game, eh. He got reversed by Ferreira, the PFL. Run on, whatever his fucking name, on Ferreira. So he got reversed by him, and he's not that. He's got a strong like hip bump and shit. We'll say that he likes that escape, and he's pretty good at that. I don't think that's gonna work against Almeida. Most of the guys I think he could do it to are like blobs. Almeida's definitely not a blob. I'll give him that. Uh, and he has decent takedown defense, decent submission defense. But what I could see is Kuniev rushing in. He swings like crazy. I could see him rushing in, and Almeida shooting for a takedown and getting it. Uh, Maybe Kuniev, tries to get out quickly. He panics, and I think Almeida just snatches up a submission. I don't know what kind, but I think I could just see it. Or I could see Kuniev. I think I could see Almeida, after the Volkov fight, being worried that he's gonna get cut and everything. He tries to be more active. He tries to do more striking or ground and pound. I could see Kuniev taking advantage of that and even shooting for a takedown on him. And if that happens, I honestly can't see Kuniev, dominating on the ground. I could see Almeida reversing him, like Kuniev got reversed in the PFL fight I was talking about. Not the best of look. I think Almeida could easily reverse him. And if the sad thing is, if Almeida doesn't get a sub, I don't see this being a finish. I think this is just going to be a wet blanket, another one from Almeida. But hopefully that Volkov loss, kind of woke him up. I hope he realizes and thinks like, I got to do more. Nobody likes him. You do a fucking survey, everyone's going to tell him to go fuck himself. Yeah, but anyways, Almeida via sub. I think round 1 or 2, or Kuniev gets really slippery. I think that's the best time for. Not excited for this. Here we go. Albazi. Amir Albazi. God. Amir Albazi versus Kyoji Horiguchi. I'm actually really excited for this. Nowadays, it's not much of a hot take, but one of my favorite divisions is the flyweight. I love flyweight fights. Super entertaining. They're probably the most technical and high level fights you can get in the UFC. I'm not saying, the lightweight division's not technical. But these guys don't have a lot of KO power, so they got to work on technique. Yeah. Anyways, I think Kyoji's absolutely dog walk him. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. Let me go back to this fight real quick. Rizvan Kuniev, one of his, before the UFC, his second fight the fight right before the UFC, he won against a guy named Hugo Cunha. You know who Hugo Cunha lost to? Denzel Freeman. If you don't know Denzel Freeman, he was just on the what was it, 324 card, Patty versus, and Denzel lost via TK. I wouldn't even say TKO. I would say he lost to middle finger because Josh Hawkett gave him the middle finger, and Denzel Freeman just gave up. Yeah, he beat a guy who lost to Denzel. Sorry, forgot about that. Get back to this fight. I think Kyoji is gonna easily dominate. I think Amir Abazi is top 15 worthy of flyweights. Flyweights. I don't think he's top 5. I think maybe barely gets in top 10. I just think he's a a decent fighter. I think he's a, take it with a grain of salt, a good fighter. I don't think he's one of the best flyweights at all. I think Kyoji is one of the best flyweights. Albazi just recently lost to Moreno. Not recently, like last year. Uh, Moreno broke a record, significant strike record. Just bloodied up Amir's face with jabs and shit. And the fight before that, he won against Kai Car France. That was a fucking robbery. I don't even think that's, like, you can argue that it wasn't. I think everyone agrees that it was a robbery. And then so the fight before that was Alessandro Costa. Alessandro, Alessandro Costa, which is no, that's He's got decent head movement, decent IQ. If Kyoji, if Amir shoots a takedown on Kyoji, and he knows he's not gonna get it, he's not gonna just sit there. He's gonna strike and everything. He's also too patient sometimes. Kyoji, on the other hand, just won at UFC Qatar against Tagir Ulanbekov, which is a really good win. He also has good wins. That was like second UFC debut. Um, for that he was in Ryzen for a bit, and he got some pretty good wins up there. Sergio Pettis, which is a, pretty good win. I'm gonna a fucking be able to pronounce this guy's name right. Maximuto Dura, who's pretty good too. Watched a couple of his fights. Not UFC level, but those are pretty good wins. Ryzen does have pretty good competition. And just came back, destroyed Tagir. I would even say that's embarrassing for Tagir. Anyways, uh, Yoji, I could just see him fighting for the belt in 1 year. Maybe not this year, but definitely next year. He's good everywhere. He's great striker, uh, great grappler. He's really good IQ. His movement is super good. He's got really fast lateral movement on the back foot, and his leg kicks against the gear. Oh my god, those leg kicks look brutal. And I think that's gonna be one of the reasons he's gonna win. I don't see this being a TKO. I don't see this being a submission. If it is a submission, it's probably gonna be some like a submission like the Tagir fight where Kyoji drops Amir. I don't think he doesn't have a lot of power in the hands, so if you were to drop him, it'd be like a head kick. It would literally be just like the Tagir fight. Kyoji drops Amir with a head kick, and then wraps up a submission like a rear naked choke. I think that's this like the second most like believable outcome or something. But I believe he's gonna dominate Amir. I think it's gonna be a 30-27. If Kyoji uses his leg kicks, which I'm pretty, will, I think that's gonna be a really good mixture. He also does really good with pressure. He's a good pressure. He also is just, he's really good everywhere. He has good cardio. And what I love the most is he mixes it up a lot. You know, his leg kicks. He knows he has good leg kicks. So he, chops wood, chops the opponent's legs, and then he switches it up to a body kick. And I think that's the reason why Yoji landed the head kick on Gear, because Tagir was just, his legs were destroyed. I think it was his left leg. His left leg was destroyed. And then so Kyoji went to go throw a head kick into gear, thought it was a leg kick. And then that's what hit him. I think that's gonna be the best source of output from Kyoji. I think his leg kicks. And I will say this too. He also uses if Amir shoots for a takedown, Kyoji has good takedown defense, and what he uses the most. And Justin Gaethje just used this in his fight against Paddy Pimblett, and now everyone's like, "Wow, that's fucking genius." But Kyoji uses this. Tons of other fighters use this too. But he does a good job with the front headlock. He doesn't chase positions really. He's patient on the ground, not too patient, but he does a good job with the front headlock, just like Justin Gaethje was doing with Paddy. He tucks the arm, drags it so the other person can't get back up, get back up. You know, and I think that's just another source of victory. I think he's just gonna do great. I think it's gonna be a domination, 30-27 for Kyoji. Or now we get to the main event. I wanted this to be a not a long video. But what are you gonna do? Mario Bautista versus Vinicius Oliveira. We just talk about this guy's fucking in here. Oh, he had purple too. I like those. I like purple. I like when like Ian Gary. Anyways, I think this is gonna be a fun fight. I don't know if maybe this could be boring at times, but I like it. I'm excited. I will say Bautista definitely has fought better competition. Just lost to Umar Nurmagomedov. That is not a loss on his record that looked bad. It's Umar, possibly future champ and everything. A lot of people love him. He's skilled. He's ranked 3, 2, whatever for a reason. Saying Umar not a bad. He dropped Umar in the second round with a flash knockdown. So you can never count out Mario. You can never count him out. He has really good cardio. His cardio, in my mind, is his best weapon. Good scrambles, doesn't settle on the ground, always tries to get up. Really, really creative submission attempts. In the fight with Umar, in the first round, he had this like ankle slash like foot lock. It looked so fucking, and I honestly don't know how Umar got out of it. It looked like it was even, still affecting him later in the fight. Yeah, he's super creative. Um, Super calm too on the ground. Multiple times Umar had his back. He was just calm. He panic, which is really good. Uh, but the Pat Mix win, not that good in my mind. Patchy Mix coming to the UFC before his fight, everyone thought, not everyone, but a lot of people thought Patchy Mix not champ, but just do really good in the UFC because he is a good fighter. He was a good fighter. He was a really good fighter in Bellator. He won against Sergio Pettis and Raytheon Stocks. He was a good fighter coming to the UFC, not so much. So that was at least he dominated. I would say he dominated that fight. Actually, makes had nothing from Mario. I think a KO or a submission would have been better on the look, but still dominated him. The Jose Aldo fight. A lot of people hate him for it. I won't lie. Even myself hated him. Like when the fight was over. Look, I'm more I'm more okay with understanding that wasn't just all Mario. Some of it was Jose, Aldo too. And I met Aldo. I love Aldo. Met him in person, took a picture with him. It was great. But some of the fault has to fall on Aldo. He just, stayed against the cage. It was just like against fucking my god, what's his name? God. Marab. Why did I just forget that? It was just like his performance against Marab. Marab held him against the cage. He didn't really try to move, or maybe he did. He did, but just didn't do it a lot. So I don't entirely blame Mario for that performance. He did what he had to do to win, and he did. I do think Mario is underrated. He's a good fighter. I don't know if he's top 5, but he's definitely top 15. I'll tell you that. And I know he said if he wins this fight, he wants the Sanhagen rematch. Hagen obliterated him for Mario's UFC debut. If I remember correctly, it was a jumping knee, but I do remember that it was a submission in the an arm triangle or an arm. I think it was or a rear naked. Anyways, Mario's a good fighter. I do like him a lot. Don't really blame him for the Aldo fight. Get to his opponent, Vinicius Oliveira. I love him. He is fun as fuck to watch. Like you can't watch a Vinicius Oliveira fight and not think, "Wow, this is he's fucking all." His style is insane. He's just a dog, hands down all the time. Like he looks like he doesn't give a fuck. Got good submission defense, good scrambles. He also does really good with the body work. I think that's gonna play a huge part in this fight. If he were to win, it would be not via, but good body shots on Mario help with the good cardio he has. I think that's gonna be really good, really important for him. His competition that he's fought, he's undefeated in the UFC. He's fought good competition. Ricky Simone is a good fighter. Saeed Nurmagomedov, good fighter. He even had a injured rib in that fight, and he still won. I think that was it was either 29, 28, 30, 27. I just watched that. Rewatched that. And then he won against Kyler Phillips, dropped Kyler Phillips. I forget what round, but he's a good fighter. But that's the thing. I think Mario is going to win. I think it's going to be a 48-47 UD Mario. I think Vinicius could get 2 rounds, and I think it's going to be competitive. But if Mario keeps it at range, doesn't play into Vinicius's style with just hectic, close, and everything, and also if Mario throws a lot of leg kicks, Oliveira he's not that good with leg kicks. Um, he's lost to Christian Quinones, which is a pretty bad loss on his not in the UFC, outside of it, but still, that's a pretty bad look. I know Quinones is in the UFC. He's supposed to fight Chris Moutinho. Forget what card upcoming though. But yeah, albeit it was a weird doctor stoppage, but Oliveira got hurt really badly by Christian, and it's just not a good look. He ate a lot of leg kicks too. So I think if Mario keeps at his range, picks his leg apart, and also a lot of uppercuts, Vinicius tends to duck his head a lot. So I think if Mario throws a bunch of uppercuts every now and then, I think that could really benefit. I don't see this ending in a KO, TKO, submission. Maybe Mario hurts him, via submission, but I don't think so. I think Mario has great cardio. Vinicius has good cardio. But if Bautista also uses takedowns, like if Vinicius gets really close, maybe starts teeing off, I think Bautista is good wrestling. He reversed against Umar one time, and that was good. I also think if Oliveira, throws a bunch of naked leg kicks or just naked kicks in general, I think Bautista is gonna capitalize on that, take him down. I don't think wet blanket. I think he's gonna do pretty good at ground and pound. I could see, I could see him getting, a takedown on Vinicius Oliveira, trying to do some ground and pound. Trying to move to mount, side control, whatever. I could see Vinicius, escaping, in between the ground and pound. but still, I think that's just gonna wear on Vinicius's cardio. And you saw it in the Saeed fight. Cardio is not the best. Yeah, he had an injured rib, um, but his cardio is not the best. He's a dog still, so I'll never count him out, even with his bad cardio. Can always pull it off. I just think Mario's gonna win. I don't want him to win. I like Mario, but I like Vinicius Oliveira more. He's fun. But yeah, I think Mario's gonna win a UD against Vinicius Oliveira, and that's our main event. That closes the fight night. I think it's gonna be a fun fight night. I don't think it's gonna be great. I don't think it's gonna be the best fight night of the year. And the year is just starting. But yeah, what's how everything's gonna play out. Excited. Sunday, going to release a recap, going over each fight a little bit, seeing how I do on my predictions. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. I'm sorry that this is a long video, 46 minutes. Holy shit. I'm gonna try to not make long videos anymore, especially because it's like my first and second video I made long videos. That's not good. Gotta change that, especially for new people. You know, maybe if I ever get my channel up in views and shit and subs, that that's when I change it to medium to long videos. But right now, I but if you did watch the entire thing, I cannot thank you enough. Seriously, I appreciate you so much for watching. And if you like to drop a like, and if you want to see more, drop a sub. Who knows? But yeah, thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy the fight night. Like I said, I'm going to. There's fun fights. Battle of the Marauders. Excited for. All right. But yeah, thank you all for watching. See you Sunday. Have a nice night. What? Nice night.